right, so as I was saying, I just tucked the tea calendar away. Oliver stepped on my computer and shut the video down. So we'll try again. All right, so today we're going to talk. Oh, first, I want to tell you about the book I just finished. See if I can get the name right. So it's the Candy Canine Christmas Caper at the Bow Wow Bakery. I think that was right. It's a long title, but the book is excellent. I really enjoyed it. I finished it in, I don't know, not very long, maybe a day or two, probably 2 days. Um, it was really good. The main character, she has a dog named Max, and Max ends up disappearing, and she's pretty sure, like he never has done anything like that before, right? Like he was pulling on his leash, and then all of a sudden he was gone. And so she has heard about this dog napping ring that's happening in the town, and a lot of dogs are going missing. So she's very concerned what happened to Max, and Christmas is coming, and yeah, she's getting pretty upset. So the whole cozy is just that. It's very cozy. It's got some good characters in it. She has the detective love interest. She has a good best friend. There's lots of Christmas feels. There's, a tree lighting, and there's, shopping for presents, and, watching the lights. There's, all kinds of things going on. Um, and good neighbors, and all the reasons that I love a Christmas cozy. So this one I really enjoyed, and I really like the twists and turns, and it's all works out right in the end. It's a cozy, they all have to. But it was great, and I would definitely give it 5 out of 5. Um, really loved it, and first one of that author's that I've read. So now feel like I'm gonna go back and read everything about the Bow Wow Bakery, they call it the Bow Wow Bakery because she makes dog treats out of ingredients that even humans can eat, and she also makes human treats. So anyway, it's pretty cool. So hopefully you'll get a chance to read that one. So otherwise today what we're going to talk about is a book reading challenge. So it's a 2024 reading challenge, and it comes from a site called Beyond the Bookends, and you can print it off of their website if you choose to, and each month is something different. So it's got a book adapted to the screen, it's got fake dating, it's got middle grade realistic fiction, fiction set abroad. So it's got lots of different categories. So I'll let you know what I chose. And for 2024, if you want to, read along with me and know that at some point in that month we're going to be discussing the book, you could certainly do that. I would love to have your insight in the comments on what you thought of the book as well. And let's see, what else did I want to tell you about it? Oh, the only other thing I was going to say is the fact that it's not going to be obviously the only thing I read in that month, but because I will have my own things I want to do, but I'll make sure that I put in one of those books from each month. So for the first month, it is a book adapted to the screen, and the one that I chose was called Brain on Fire. And so it's actually a nonfiction book, but it says says it goes far beyond riveting medical mystery. So it's one woman's struggle to recapture her identity. It says when 24-year-old Susan Callahan woke up alone in a hospital room, strapped to her bed and unable to move or speak, she had no memory of how she'd gotten there. Days earlier, she'd been on the threshold of a new adult life, at the beginning of her first serious relationship and a promising career at a major New York newspaper. Now she was labeled violent, psychotic, a flight risk. What happened? In a swift and breathtaking narrative, Callahan tells the astonishing true story of her descent into madness, her family's inspiring faith in her, and the life-saving diagnosis that nearly didn't happen. So it sounds amazing, and I'm really looking forward to it. And apparently, it has been turned into a movie. I didn't know that. I haven't seen that. Maybe it even hasn't come out yet. I don't know, but I'll have to look for it. But first the book, then the movie. One second, I'm just going to take a sip of my coffee here. Tea's not quite ready, and my throat's dry. Okay, so the next one is fake dating. I struggled a little bit with this one to find one that I thought was okay for me. A couple that I looked at, it was like, that's probably going areas I don't want to go. But this one seems okay. So it's how to fake date your grumpy boss. And it says, all I ever wanted to be is a writer, but support isn't exactly forthcoming in my household, and I wouldn't say it's particularly available in college either. When I learn about an opportunity to write Levi Danner's autobiography, I cross my fingers and send in my resume. After an amazing... Okay, once more from the top. After an amazing interview with the billionaire CEO of Leopard, one wrong trip sends me hurtling into my would-be boss's mouth. Making matters worse, the paparazzi immortalized the moment, and needless to say, my strict upbringing did not prepare me for a mistake of this magnitude. Because I'm as book-obsessed as I am, my solution to the resulting bad rep is as simple or as it is insane. Cue the usual fake dating shenanigans, minus the falling in love. Or who am I kidding? I know this trope, and the falling in love part isn't exactly optional, no matter what stands against it. Okay, so it sounds like somehow she ended up kissing him, and things just go from there. So we will see how that goes. And then in March, we have middle grade realistic fiction. So a lot of what looks to be good middle grade out there. So I had a hard time choosing, and I changed my mind a few times, but what I ended up going with was The Lost Bookshop. It says, for too long, Opaline, Martha, and Henry have been the side characters in their own lives. But when a vanishing bookshop casts its spell, these three unsuspecting strangers will discover their own stories are every bit as extraordinary as the ones found in the pages of their beloved books. And by unlocking the secrets of the shelves, they find themselves transported to a world of wonder where nothing is as it seems. So I thought that one sounded good. So the next one is fiction set abroad. So for this one, I managed to slip a book in there that I wanted to read anyway. This one is Murder at the Piccadilly Playhouse, and it's #2 in the Cleopatra Fox series. And really enjoyed #1, so I'm looking forward to doing #2. Excuse me. All right, let's try the tea. We'll see if that soothing tea can help my voice. Okay, all I can smell is the smoke, so I don't know about this one. Okay. Interesting. It's not, I know this is a bad way to put it, but it's not horrible. I really didn't think I would like it. And I can certainly taste the smokiness to it, but it's not that bad. It's a little bit like sitting around a campfire and trying to drink something. You still get that smokiness taste in your mouth. What else is in it? Brandy, vanilla bean, and dried cherry. So I think it's good that some of those things are in it. I think it's giving a little bit of sweetness to it that it kind of needs. So yeah, not bad. Don't know what I'd give it yet. I'll tell you in a few minutes. All right, so the next, like I said, the Murder at the Piccadilly Playhouse. So it says, she was admired by women and desired by men until jealousy and past secrets took center stage. Help Cleo and her friends solve the murder of one of London's leading actresses. When a hotel guest's mistress is found dead in the stalls of the Piccadilly Playhouse, a verdict of suicide is given. Convinced his lover didn't kill herself, Lord Rumford wants the truth discovered. Against his better judgment, he hires Cleo Fox to find the murderer. Cleo needs to solve the case if she wants to make a living from being a private detective. Well, my goodness, so she's, sounds like she's going to become a private detective. Interesting. All right. So the next one is biographical fiction. So for this one, I picked one that's a little bit unusual. It's Nefertiti. So it's about the Egyptian goddess Nefertiti and her younger sister. I'm never gonna get this right. Mutnad Mutnajment. Anyway, I think they just call her Mutt most of the time. They've been raised in a powerful family that has provided wives to the rulers of Egypt for centuries. Ambitious, charismatic, and beautiful, Nefertiti is destined to marry Amenhotep, an unstable young pharaoh. It's hoped by all that her strong personality will temper the young Amenhotep's heretical desire to forsake Egypt's ancient gods, overthrow the priests of Amun, and introduce a new sun god for all to worship. From the moment of her arrival in Thebes, Nefertiti is beloved by the people. Her charisma is matched only by her husband's perceived generosity. It says he showers his subjects with lofty promises, and the love of the commoners will not be enough, however, if the royal couple is not able to conceive an heir. And as Nefertiti turns her attention to producing a son, she fails to see that the powerful priests, along with the military, are plotting against her husband's rule. The only person wise enough to recognize the shift in political winds and brave enough to tell the queen is her younger sister. So anyway, it sounds like it's going to be good. It's got a lot of intrigue and a lot of different things in it, as well as some love and betrayal and all kinds of things that would have happened in ancient Egypt. So interested to see where they go with the story. The next one I'm really kind of looking forward to. They left it really wide open. It's an animal novel, so you could pick really whatever you wanted for it. But the one I picked is actually nonfiction, but it sounded really, I won't say cute, that's probably not the right word, but sounded really interesting. It's called Fox and I by Catherine Raven, and it says a solitary woman's inspiring, moving, surprising, and often funny memoir about a transformative power of her unusual relationship and friendship with a wild fox, a new window into the natural world, and an introduction of a remarkable literary talent. So it says she left home at 15, fleeing an abusive father and an indifferent mother. Drawn to the natural world, she worked as a ranger at national parks, at times living in her rundown car, on abandoned construction sites, or camping on a piece of land in Montana that she had bought from a colleague. She put herself through college and then graduate school, eventually earning a PhD in biology. And so then it talks about how she ends up meeting this fox who appeared at her house and was coming by every day at 4:15. And so it's talking about how they kind of became friends and what happens from there. So interested to see what that's like. So the next one is a YA fantasy, and that's a really huge genre. Like there are a lot of YA fantasies. And this one is called Nevermore: The Trials of Morgan Crow. It says a breathtaking, enchanting new series, well, it was when it came out, by author Jessica Townsend about a cursed girl who escapes death and finds herself in a magical world, but is tested beyond her wildest imaginations. So it's, all about this Morgan Crow, and it says she was born on Eventide, which is the most unlucky day to be born in her world. And so she's blamed for everything. She's blamed for hailstorms, heart attacks, all of these things. And then it says the curse means that she's going to die, doomed to die at midnight on her 11th birthday. But then apparently someone comes and whisks her away from all that, and magical things start to happen. So sounds really good. And it says it's perfect for fans of the Harry Potter series and Neil Gaiman. So that's two very different writers, so we'll see. So the next one is fashion fiction or nonfiction. I thought that was an interesting one to put in there. Some categories are so broad and then others are pretty narrow. But I did find one that sounded good. It's called Shot Through Velvet. It says the body was blue, not merely wearing blue, he was blue, and not the blue pallor of death. He was sapphire from head to toe, a deep shade of mood indigo. The last velvet factory in Virginia is shutting down for good, killing off many jobs and a dying small town. Fashion reporter Lacey Smithsonian is there to cover its sad last day on the job, but with her own job in danger and the newspaper in deep financial trouble, this story hits a little too close to home. And the centerpiece of Lacey's factory tour, a dead body found spooled in the velvet. The manager, everyone a dead body spooled in the velvet. The manager, everyone, the blue devil. They don't have that written very well. Okay, so I think it's the manager they find spooled in the blue velvet, and it's called the blue velvet. I think itself, it's called the blue devil, and it's a vat of blue dye. Anyway, so it starts to, the killer starts to use Lacey for publicity. And then as the killer strikes near, Lacey finds she has much more at stake in this story than just her job. So it sounds like it'll be interesting and kind of cozy. And again, I'm sure there are a lot of fashion cozies, but I don't think I've read one. So the next one also sounds really good. It's a coming of age novel. Again, really broad category, and there is a ton of coming of age novels. So hard to narrow it down, but I decided on The Overdue Life of Amy Byler. And it says, overworked and underappreciated, single mom Amy Byler needs a break. So when the guilt-ridden husband who abandoned her shows up and offers to take care of their kids for the summer, she accepts his offer and escapes rural Pennsylvania for New York City. Seems like you'd go someplace quiet, not New York necessarily, but anyway, that's what she wanted. Usually grounded and mild-mannered, Amy finally lets her hair down in the city that never sleeps. She discovers a life filled with culture, sophistication, and with a little encouragement from her friends, a few blind dates. When one man in particular makes quick work of Amy's heart, she risks losing herself completely in the unexpected escape, and as the summer comes to an end, she realizes too late that she must make an impossible decision: stay in this exciting new chapter of her life or return to the life she left behind. So that sounds like it could be good. So that brings us up to October. So obviously, October to December, there's a lot of, theme things that we read that have to do with the season. But I'm sure we can fit in a couple. So the first one is called, is a historical mystery for October. And I chose one called Murder Afloat. So it says, an unsinkable ship, the voyage of a lifetime, an unfortunate sighting, magnificence, intrigue, and murder abound in this twisty, page-turning mystery. So it says, when Charlotte, who goes by Lottie, Lindbergh witnesses what she thinks is a pickpocketing on the docks of the famous Titanic, she vows to track the culprits once on board and warn the others of the danger. But it looks like mystery-obsessed amateur sleuth Lottie is in for a lot more than she bargained for. All right. And then the next one is a feel-good nonfiction. You know what? It's not that easy to find a feel-good nonfiction. Just saying. But one I did find that I've seen the cover all over the place, but I haven't read. It's called Furiously Happy. And it says, a humor memoir tinged with just enough tragedy and pathos to make it worthwhile. So it's about Jenny Lawson. Says she examines her own experience with depression and a host of other conditions, and explains how it has led her to live life to the fullest. And so it says Jenny's readings are standing room only, with fans lining up to have Jenny sign their bottles of Xanax or Prozac as often as they are to have her sign their books. So anyway, it talks about, about joy, basically, at the bottom of everything, how to have joy. So anyway, sounds like it'd be interesting. And then the very last one, of course, is a holiday story. So that was a tough one in a way, because I'm reading so many this year, and it's like, okay, I know I'm not going to get to all these. What do I want to make sure I read next year? And, there's just too many to choose from. But I picked The Mistletoe Motive, and it's by the same author who did The Bergman Brothers, which I talked about in another video. And it says, he loathes the holidays, she loves them. She's full of festive cheer. He's brimming with bah humbugs. Besides unreasonably seasonable names, the only thing Jonathan Frost and Gabriella De Natale have in common is a healthy dose of mutual contempt. Well, that and the same place of employment at the city's most beloved independent bookstore, Bailey's Bookshop. But when the store owner confesses its dire financial strait, Jonathan and Gabby discover another unfortunate commonality, the imminent threat of unemployment. So it goes on about how they get together and what kind of happens, and it sounds like it could be very good. So it says, worst of all, as the pressure mounts to save the bookshop and her job, Gabby meets a new tender side of Jonathan. Is this the same man she's called her cold-hearted enemy? So yeah, sounds like it could be good. So I think all those sound really good for 2024. I'm going to add them to my list, and I hope you do too. I'd love to have you read with me. So I would say go, pick up one of these. And there's also a blank one that you can fill out to put in the books that you're going to read for 2024 to go along with those prompts. And yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun. And just something to kind of get our wheels turning for 2024. And the tea today, I don't know, I think I'd give it probably a 3 out of 5. It's not my favorite, but it's actually not bad. So I don't know, I'd still call that one a winner, I think. All right, so I hope you have a great day, friends. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.